Right, so, Barry, could you tell me the first time you ever come across Paul Sykes?
Yeah, it was when Tommy Miller phoned me up and he said, because by this time they'd gone to the Noble Art, they'd only been there a relatively short time, and I used to go down watching the lads spar and that, and Tommy used to get me in all the fights for free. He said, as though he owed it to me. He was a smashing bloke. He said, you're still part of our club, you know that, don't you? So I used to go to this Noble Heart. So this night, the Noble Heart gym, this night he phoned me and said, Barry, I've signed this guy, Paul Sykes. Come down tonight. Kenny will pick you up, because Ken lived in Ashton, and you can... Is
that the doctor, Ken McGill?
No, Ken Daniels.
Right, okay.
He's boxing trainer. So Ken used to be a good pro in the 50s. So Ken picked me up. He said, he's a big lad, this Paul. So this is the first time I saw him. So he sparred with Phil Martin. Now Phil, as you know, was a light heavyweight, the black lad from Moss Side. So Paul got the better of the spar. He was bigger. He looked bloody massive, Paul. He just got out of jail. He looked as fit as a butcher's dog. So he always sparred really like a proper fight, Paul. He was a bit of a bully like that. So he got the better of Phil. So the next night, Phil was marked a bit, his face. So I thought a bit sorry for Phil, because he was a good close friend of mine, Phil. I said, you took liberties there. He said, yeah, man. He said, I'll give him some more back. And the following night, they sparred again. I thought, bloody hell. I was a bit worried. They got in anyway. Phil gave as good as he took. It was a war. So in the end, Tommy said, that's enough. They were really going at it. But Phil did really well. He had a lot more experience than Paul, of course.
Yeah.
But he was lighter. So that was interesting. So this is the first time I met Paul Sykes. And then I'd go down regular there all the time when he was there, Paul. He was then all the time going. And then I went to a lot of his fights. Well, I say a lot, he didn't tell me the fights. I went to his first fight. Was it his name was his first...
Johnston.
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw
the Malpass.
I saw the Malpass. That was the one I was doing the ring cards, and I was there. I saw the Tommy Keeley in Bradford. I saw Neville Mead. I saw that one in Bradford. I missed the second Malpass fight. I don't know why. I went to Wakefield and saw him beat Dave Wilson when he put him in Pinderfield Hospital. I was there that night. I went to Blackpool and saw him fight Lissimo Obutobia. Funny name, a big Nigerian, a giant he was. I saw him fight Conrad Tucker in Wakefield. Then I missed the Gardner fight, and of course the last one was with the Quellum. Now Tommy's son took him there, and when he got back, Tom said to me through that fight, he just went down. He said, but I'll never go anywhere again with him. He said he nearly got us arrested by the South African police. He was trouble all the time. Anyway, I went to those fights.
But Barry, can I just interrupt you? What happened before the Malpass first fight? You were there.
The first fight, what happened in that passageway?
Yeah.
He just jumped up when he saw Neil Malpass go into the toilets. And there was nobody about. It was quiet. It was like about 6, 7 o'clock before the public were going in. So he jumped up. He said, I'm going to set him up in the toilet. So I'll give him a fucking good idea. So tell me, no. So he's off then, Paul, striding down. And I thought, I can't believe this. It was all new to me, this. I thought, Jesus. So Tommy gets hold of his arm, Kenny does, and he's dragging him, because they're only small, a pair of them. And then he saw sense, and Tommy said, look, you won't get paid a bit of a fight if you start having a fight in the toilets. He said, all your mates have come from London, Chip Connors and Artie Steen, and Alec Buxton, who was a boxer in the 50s. So he saw sense then, but he was angry all the time. And then, as I say, that was an interesting thing, so I came back and told all the lads in my gym the next night. You won't believe it. Never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
When he butted him, I thought, Christ. And when I was doing the ring cards, I thought, let me get out of this bloody... I've never done ring cards before. I was frightened of getting involved.
Can I ask you, Barry, do you know, obviously you spent a lot of time going to visit Paul Sykes. You've got many letters there, and he often described you as being on his wavelength. I mean, was he as really complicated individual as he seemed across, because you knew him very well?
Yeah, he definitely was. There was that danger by talking. Even he could turn on a friend. I could see that, but I was lucky. He didn't turn on me, but I could see because Ken Daniels, his trainer, he said he's a dangerous man. I'm telling you. So there was just something about him. I saw him one night at the gym. He's getting bandaged up, and there was an elderly man there, must have been in his 60s, and he was dressed up with a pink shirt. I'll never forget it, because so it was before the Gardner fight. So this chap, he was like creeping round Paul. He said, "I tell you what, Paul, if you don't beat him, you'll beat nobody," meaning Gardner. He put it like that. So Paul said, "I tell you what I can do, I can fucking beat you." And he walked towards him. This boy said, "Oh, I've just come to the hospital." He said, "I'll put you back in there in a minute, yeah." I hate people that wear pink shirts anyway. I thought, fuck, he just flared up. So Ken's got hold of him, and then Tommy Miller comes, "What's wrong, what's wrong?" And he says, "Oh, settle down, Paul, he didn't mean anything." And I watched him, I thought, bloody hell, he's so volatile. And then when we went to see him in prison, Ken and I, were in the waiting for him, and he came in, and he's dead excited to see you, shook hands with me, and then Ken, "Good to see you," and sit down, and we sat down, and we got some chocolate off the woman there and a cup of tea, and there's other visitors, there, other prisoners being visited. So there's two screws sat on a bit of a rostrum, a bit higher up, watching the whole thing going on. So I'm talking about training with him, he said, "Look, I'll write you a good schedule out, Barry." So he showed us one of these waters. "Hey, Frank," I thought, bloody hell, this bloke looked at this water. "Come here." So he came with, what do you want, Paul? He said, "Have you got a biro, a piece of paper?" Yeah, I'll get one for you. I thought, fucking hell, he's talking to these waters. So then he wrote me the schedule out, which is a shame I haven't got now. I don't know what happened to it. He wrote me the schedule out. So and then he said, "Look, this is what you want." And he pulled his T-shirt off. So he stripped to the waist in this room where there's all visitors. He turned his back to Ken and I. He said, "See those spinal erectors? That's what you want. All the support your spine at the bottom." And he's flexing his back muscles. Then he put his T-shirt back on. And then suddenly, a big, rough-looking bastard comes through that's got a visit. And that Paul, in a loud voice, says, "You see that tosser?" He says, "I'm going to give him the best fucking hiding he's ever had in his life. He's in for murder, and he thinks he's going to run this jail." He said, and he's doing it so loud that everybody's looking, and this guy heard him, but he turned away quickly because he was frightened.
Jesus.
He was a big lad, but I thought, so afterwards, I can't believe it. How he gets away with this.
Yeah, but Barry, can I ask you, because you were very close with Tommy Miller, how excited was Tommy Miller when he first signed him?
How what, sorry?
How excited was Tommy Miller when he first signed Paul?
Over the moon. He told me, Tommy, he says, he went out and Paul was working as a lifeguard at Blackpool. And he said, "I saw him and I thought, he'd go to jail, I wanted to sign him up before anyone else got him." He says, and I shouted, Paul, I'm a manager, boxing manager, I want to talk to you." And he said, "I've got a stable of fighters, I've got Peter Freeman." So he says, "Oh, that wanker," he says. So Paul is in the swimming trunk, he's going to have a swim, he dashed towards the sea. Tommy says, "I was that desperate, I ran into the sea up to my knees in the water with the suit on."
God.
Then Paul says, "What do you want?" He said, "I want to sign you up." So he came back and he signed him up. He was that desperate, but I tell you what, he was dead chuffed, but he was frightened all the time in his company. And that night when Delroy married Paul, I knew about that before it got on the documentary, because Tommy came to see me, and Ken, and he was telling Ken and I about it. He says, "You won't believe it, it's going to be on television soon." He says, "I was invited, me and Matt was his wife, Tommy's wife." He said, "Me and Matt were invited in Paul's house, and Delroy Showers was married." He said, "It was frightening." Paul started, he was a bit pissed up, and he was giving trouble, and I thought it's going to go off any minute. And so Tommy told me all about that, and then sure enough it was on that documentary on First Tuesday it was called, and I think it was going out of television, and all the lads in my gym were fascinated, we all watched it.
Yeah.
I was getting all this first-hand knowledge of Tommy, but Tommy was frightened. Ken wasn't, funny enough. I can tell you another story about Ken and all, that he had Paul one-to-one training at the Noble Art one afternoon on a Sunday, and he said, "Do you want to come down?" I said, "I can't this afternoon." So it was just him and Paul, because Ken came to see me afterwards. He said, "You won't believe what happened." He says, I'm training Paul, and we're going to put the pads on, and this big rough bugger off the building site comes in. He's a big bastard. He says, "Can I have a move around with him?" So Ken said, No, you can't. He's a pro, no. He said, "Brother, I'm not frightened." He said, "I'm on the cobbles." No, he said, "You can't, no. This is a private, gym session." So Paul Summer says, get the fucking gloves on him, Kenny. Well, no, I don't think you should, but get the gloves on him. So he gloved this bugger up. So I think he had a few pints, but he was he was about 18 stone, he said, big raw boy. He gets in, well, Paul battered him, hit him in the guts, knocked him spark out on the chin. So he was actually snoring. I thought, I looked at fucking nice out. He was like, he's killing him round. I said to Paul, look, you've done your training, get your bag back quick. Let's get this bugger outside, or leave him on the pavement round the corner. So Ken said, I could hardly bloody lift him. He says, Paul's strong, like he's got on his shoulders. They carried him down these stairs, because there's a working men's club underneath, but there was nobody around. They took him onto Oldham Road. It's a busy road, that. So they were hoping, Ken said, people thought, he might just be drunk, this bloke. We took him round the side street, laid him on his side, and I felt this boat, he was alive. We got in the car and got away. He said, I can't believe it. He said, we got away. He said, I was just worried in case he died. But he told me that story. Interesting stories, but that was typical of Paul.